Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's have a look at this iQOO Neo 7 smartphone. And I had got this one about last week itself. This is actually a review unit, but I couldn't post the video last week because I was busy with some personal work. So I decided let's use this for some time before posting any video. So I've now used this smartphone with my primary SIM, that's Airtel 5G, for the last 5 days, and let me give you an overview about this one. And why do I feel this is sort of a value flagship for certain segment of users? Okay, I won't bore you with unboxing. This is the box, and it also has the charging cable. I didn't take that out. This is the 120 watt charger in the box, and this is actually Type-C. So Type-C to Type-C charging we are getting on this one, which is actually a good thing. And I like that we are getting this 120 watt charger in the box. So it charges very, very quickly, and you also get this transparent case. So I'll just keep this to the side, and let's talk about the handset itself. And guys, I believe this is the first handset in India that is coming with the new MediaTek Dimensity 8200 chipset, and this is also the first time I'm testing this chipset, and I'm very, very happy with this. That's why I say the performance of this smartphone is actually very, very good. But before we dwell into all that, I'll show you some benchmarks also, and battery life is amazing on this one. Let's look at the physical overview. Top, we have a secondary noise cancellation microphone, and we also have IR blaster. I was not expecting that. The body is actually the back is actually plastic, guys, but again the quality of the plastic is very good. It's not a fingerprint magnet, it actually is sort of a matte finish, and if you move around it actually plays with the light. So if you look at from a distance, it looks like it is having a glass back, but this is a plastic back that you're getting, and it doesn't attract the fingerprints. Anyways, here we have the volume rocker at the top and the power button over here. We do have in-display fingerprint scanner on this one, and that works very well. I did not have a problem. Again, the screen is an AMOLED screen, as you expect at this price point. And guys, here are all the specs for your reference. Moving towards the bottom, we do have a speaker, and yes, this also has stereo speakers, and it's actually surprisingly loud. I'll show you a sample. We have a Type-C port. This is your main SIM tray, 2 nano SIMs on this one. Storage, you'll get in 2 variants, guys, 128 gigabytes or 256 gigabytes. RAM also 8 gigabytes or 12 gigabytes of RAM. The good thing is that we have LPDDR5 RAM, not LPDDR4 RAM. That's a good thing. And the storage is also UFS 3.1 on that one. Moving towards the back, here again I would say the main camera is a 64 megapixel, and this is not a camera centric smartphone, but I was surprised to see that the 64 megapixel camera is having OIS. I took some samples, I'll show you at the end. In fact, it did surprise, but again the rest of the 2 cameras are just those 2 megapixel stuff, man. I don't get it why. Instead of that, they should have just put a ultra wide on that one. I'll show you the camera samples later on. The front facing, this is a punch hole. This is also a 16 megapixel, and as I've told you, the screen is a 6.78 inch screen, and the good thing is that this is also having that 120 hertz refresh rate. In fact, if you notice, I moved to the dark mode, and these are some of the things that I did when I got the device. I went to the display, and let me just show you display and settings, and I forced this to 120 hertz all the time. So all the battery stats and stuff that I'll show you was forced at 120 hertz. Also, I like the fact that this is coming out of the box. If you go with FunTouch OS 13, that is Android 13 out of the box, so that's actually a good thing. And iQOO is promising, again, as is the review note, I got those notes, next 2 Android upgrades and next 3 years of security updates. So that way it is decent, I would say. You also have RAM expandability option. I've disabled it, but that you do have that. And again, within the UI, again, if you notice, it's very, very smooth. This is because of the processor that's done, and I feel so the optimization that the iQOO team has done on this handset was very good. I didn't notice any jutters or anything. In fact, as I started testing this late, I also got one OTA update and I had applied that. Coming to some of the pre-installed apps, yes, there is. If you notice, all this row and even this one, yeah, Netflix also pre-installed. So these were the extra apps, I would say. Let's see if we can uninstall it. Why is Baiju there? Okay, remove, uninstall. Yeah, so directly you can uninstall the app, so that's actually a nice thing. So you can, so Snapchat, yes, so some of the bloatware is there, but as you can see, you can uninstall. Let's see if Facebook can be uninstalled. Generally, oh, okay, even Facebook is gone, so that's a good thing. One thing I noticed is that we do have this hot apps and hot games, but I read somewhere with the latest update we should be able to actually disable that, and I had applied the update and I checked just today morning, there was no update, so that might be the latest update. So let's search for hot apps, and if you go to hot apps, as you can see, you can now disable hot apps, app suggestion bar also. One good thing is that even though the hot apps was not disabled, unlike some of the earlier devices, I was not getting unnecessary notifications here. Now let's see if hot apps is there, we disabled it. So yes, as you can see, WhatsApp, you can actually disable it. So this is actually a very nice move. iQOO is now listening to the feedback that users are giving. So they have cleaned up the UI a little bit. Again, left we have the Google pane and all those things. So that way, within the UI also, I did not have an issue. Now let's talk about the performance. And this is the new processor that I was talking about, the Dimensity 8200. Again, it's 5G, and I use it with Airtel 5G most of the time. I'll show you some battery stats also, and the general performance of this processor is very, very good. In fact, it's a pretty fast processor. I would say very close to some of the earlier flagships. That is the kind of performance that yes, it's way better than Snapdragon 778 and all those things. In fact, I would say you should compare it with some of the Snapdragon 8 generation processors on this one. In fact, I ran, let me just go to the screenshots and give you an idea. Yeah, this is the benchmark that I was running. I ran it 2 times, and as you can see on the Geekbench 6, we got a single score of 1212 and multi score of 3237, which is actually very, very good, guys, for a value flagship kind of a device. This is excellent score. In fact, Geekbench is actually free tool. You can also run it on your smartphones. Another thing that I actually liked on this one is the 5G performance was also good. I tested with it. Right now still my Airtel SIM is there on this one, and even with Jio, actually I was getting the 5G signal, and I did some speed test. Let me actually show you the results. As you can see, 5G, and I was getting very good 5G speeds, typically that you get with Airtel 5G on this one. So that way it's good, and it supports the 5G bands. Both Airtel and Jio actually work on this, no issues regarding that. Another thing that I liked on this one is the screen. Again, as I've told you, it's an AMOLED screen and display, not an issue. And this is a proper HDR screen. In fact, if you open Netflix also, let me just show you. In fact, it's very good for media consumption also because of the speakers. I'll show you that. Let me just show you. If I go to app settings and if I go to playback specifications, as you can see, it's supporting, of course, wideband L1 support. That is good, and also HDR10 is actually supported even on Netflix. That way, I would say for watching content and stuff like that, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. In fact, I also watched some shows on Netflix, and the experience was actually very good on this one. And that's because, again, because of the stereo speakers. Let me just show you some copyright free music. Let's just run it. In fact, the speakers are actually way louder than what I thought. Let me just skip it. I'm going to increase the volume. It actually gets very loud after 70%. I'm going to maximize it. This is the max, as you can see. So very, very loud speakers on this one. So that's a good thing. I also tested it with the, some Bluetooth devices also on this one, and they worked very well. Didn't have any issues. Bluetooth 5.3 is also supported on that way. It is good. Also, another thing I completely forgot, though this is having a big screen, that's a 6.78-inch screen, the handset simply does not weigh that heavy, and it has good weight balance because it doesn't have that glass back. So that's the reason it does not weigh that heavy. So it's actually comfortable to hold, though it's a big device. Regarding the battery life, and this is something that I got amazing results. In fact, I tweeted also about it. Let me show you with the screenshots. Okay, let's look at the initial ones, not at the 41%. Okay, this was mostly, I would say, 80% on Wi-Fi and 20% on mobile data, that is on 5G. At 4%, if you notice, actually, I had it off the charger for full 2 days. And again, this if you had a screen on time, sorry, this was with the mostly mobile data, other one was with 5G, and I got a screen on time of 6 hours 24 minutes. So the battery life on this is amazing. The idle drain also at night is very, very less, just about 2% odd. That way, I would say standby time is also excellent on this processor. And overall, the optimizations what the iQOO team has done this time on this device is actually pretty good. Let me show you the battery stats, other stats also. The other day, I got Okay, this was what with five. What do you say? Mostly on Wi-Fi, guys. And up at 8% left. Again, I got 2 days between charges. That is over 48 hours, and 2 days to 2 minutes. And screen on time was also 7 hours 17 minutes. So excellent battery life. Of course, on Wi-Fi, many of the smartphones actually get very good battery life, but this one, surprisingly, even with mobile data, and most of the time, as I've shown you, I was on 5G, then also I got very good battery life. So in terms of battery life, this is an excellent smartphone. It's a champ. And again, that 120 watt charging is blazingly fast on this phone. So I would say easily for most of the users, it will give you easily about 1.5 days worth of battery life. And for casual users, easily about 2 odd days worth of battery life between you have to charge this device. Another thing I noticed is that this handset does not heat up that much. So that way also it was very good. Even on mobile data, generally many of the phones heat up quite a bit if you're especially on 5G, but that was not the case. Yes, it gets slightly warm, but not hot at all. So that way it was good. Again, because of the performance of this chipset, it's actually very fast. iQOO is also touting this one as a gaming-centric smartphone. I am not a hardcore gamer. I did play Call of Duty on this one, and I could set the graphics to max also. And in fact, it was very fluid. And according to the show notes, the notes I got as it's a review net, on Call of Duty and even PUBG, it actually supports 90 FPS. And I did notice that the fluidity was a little bit more. And we also have other tools also, gaming tools also on this one, where you can actually move the phone for tilt controls and stuff like that. I'm not a hardcore gamer. I was watching TechWiser's video where he actually demoed all those gaming stuff and all those things. If you are interested in that, check it out. But nevertheless, even for gaming, the performance was very good. So I would say this is a very good smartphone for people who are looking for, what do you say, very good performance, almost flagship like performance, but battery life also should be good. So that was the case. Another thing I completely forgot, I didn't have any proximity sensor issues on calls with this one. So that was also a very good thing on this device. Now let's move over to the camera. Again, this is not a camera centric smartphone, guys. Yeah, you have the basic camera interface. Again, as you can see, it is fast. If you notice, this is fast because of the processor. But here are some of the samples that I have taken with this one. And as you can see, with the main camera, 64 megapixel, in fact, it performed much better than I expected. And I think so this is thanks to the OIS that this one has. I was simply not expecting that good camera performance. Now moving to the front facing camera, here are some of the selfies that I took with this one. Again, I would say the selfies also did okay with this one. Shooting this video with the front facing camera of this iQOO Neo 7, and the maximum resolution supported is 1080p, and I'm shooting with that, and the audio is also being recorded via that. So this should give you an idea about the video recording with the front facing camera of this iQOO Neo 7. Overall, I would say yes, you could say this is a value flagship considering the performance that you are getting on this one. The battery life is good, the 5G reception was good, also doesn't exhibit any heating issues, and also for users who do actually game quite a bit, I feel this is actually a pretty good handset considering the performance that we were getting regarding gaming because of the processor on this one. The only nitpicking that I have with this smartphone is that yes, if you are a person for whom camera is the highest priority, you might not be the target audience for this phone. The main camera was not bad, but again, it misses on that ultra wide camera, which is a bummer. But overall, I would say it's still a pretty good smartphone for other aspects that I have mentioned. So what do you feel about this iQOO 7 Neo? Do let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.